next guest joining me tonight here on Punky's Mixtape is our very first guest that we're interviewed out of Brazil. I'd like everybody to welcome Dan and the Gummy Hunters out of Recife, Brazil. How we doing, Dan?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Oh, this
or
is
me.
Well, it's your representation of the Gummy Hunters as well.
Yeah. I do, yeah. They're not here, but
they're here in spirit with us.
Yep.
So really excited to get you on the show. I have been digging on you guys since I've checked you out, and I've been wanting to get you on here for a little bit now. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you, man. When I got your email, I was pretty happy about it, and I'm excited for what we're gonna have. Let's do that again. God damn it.
That's all right. I can edit that out.
You can edit that out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Boom. I'm just gonna say that.
Well,
yeah, thanks for having me, Punky.
No, you're most welcome. You guys are unbelievable. We've gotten a great mix of artists from all around the world, but you're the first featured guest that we've ever had from Brazil. So welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks. I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate great music from all around the world. But for my mixtapers that may not be familiar with Dan and the Gummy Hunters, tell us a little bit about the band, about your style, and a little bit about yourself.
Well, the band. Well, I work with events with entertainment. I've been in the entertainment field since I made my first buck when I was 16, I guess. In the punk scene in Recife, and that kind of went away when I became a father. I started to work all that, and with the pandemic, the entertainment industry went on a break, and I had enough time, and I was out of a job, and I had enough time to record again and to hang out with my old friends that were in the same situation as I was, and then we started to chat on WhatsApp and social media, and then we started to kind of share ideas, and we came up with the album in maybe 6 months. And then I did the pre-production at home in my home studio, which is really, really nothing fancy, just some speakers and an interface and a guitar. And then I met a producer from Porto Alegre, which is south of Brazil, near Argentina, and he helped me to get to the sound that you can hear in the album, which was great. He reproduced the drums and some string lines in the record, and I sang from here, from my bedroom, and that's all you can hear in the album. And the band itself came to life during the pandemic, but it's gonna stay alive after the pandemic due to the result of the record. That was something me and the guys that are playing with we are really happy with all that.
You absolutely should be, because it is an unbelievable kick-ass punk rock album. It is a ton of fun, and it's Memory Lane, which great name for all of us that are they're getting a little bit older in the years, but
yeah,
still we're still punkers through and through.
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
I really liked that, because he definitely hit a lot of nostalgic notes for me, because listening to it was like a walk down memory lane. It really was. It reminded me of being 16 and young and dumb and invincible against the world again. Like Punky Bruiser couldn't get those days. I miss those days.
Yeah.
But it's something new at the same time, which is always exciting. And I think there's this resurgence now more than ever in kind of like the classic sort of skate punk, more hardcore influences than before, which is great, because it's one of my favorite genres of music to listen to.
Yeah, same here. It's something that I always listen to. Some of my friends, they complain. They used to complain with me sometimes, saying, "Oh, you always play the same music or the same style of music." And I say, "Yeah, I do, because you guys already play different type of music when we get together. So that's when I play punk rock, it's my chance to keep us listening to punk rock. And it's a fun thing you said that because I got back to skate as well because I haven't skated in 20 years because I was afraid of breaking an arm or a leg and could be able to work next day. And now as I'm not working and I live near a skate park, I have a 16-year-old daughter. She asked me for a skate and I built her a skate and I was taking her. But then I started to skate and I wasn't afraid to break an arm or a leg because there was no, Yeah, and I think this pandemic time, people being at home and being alone, they got more connected to their older friends, and all this nostalgic time came back, and I think that I don't know, but the album it started to go live when I had an interface and a guitar and I was playing music, making music to make fun with my friends on WhatsApp, like this guy likes to eat this and that. But then when I realized that I had this time and I could write so many different type of stories, but there were stories that I lived with those guys in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? So I started to get those songs that I was making fun of them for the moment. And I started to think what we lived in the last 10, 12 years when I wasn't writing music. And that's why it's called Memory Lane, because, yeah.
It's a walk through nostalgia and memory lane, connecting with old friends again. And it's definitely well represented on the album because you can feel that, it's a small moment in time when somebody can re-encapsulate a memory, bring back an old feeling, and the right song can do that, and that's absolutely the feeling that I get from listening to the album. It brings back a flood of old memories, and some good, some bad, which is life. But I really enjoyed that about you guys, and just the straight ahead skate punk style, just unrelenting, like perfect skating tracks. Like I can't wait for the spring here because we're in the midst of winter here for ourselves, and we're covered in snow right now. But I can't wait to be able to throw this on and then start hitting some of the trails and stuff that we have on my board. That is going to be awesome.
So, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much.
Well, it just makes me want to move, and which is perfect. That's exactly what you want in a punk rock album, is that you don't want your audience to sit still, and that's I cannot. My better half and my cats are probably super annoyed with me two-stepping all over the house into the album, but I've just been having so much fun with it. And I know that everybody else here tonight is going to really enjoy the dive that we're going to do on it later on in the episode. So kudos to you, because you got my heart pumping, and it's really making me miss the live scene, because I can imagine that when you all are able to head out and play live, it's gonna have an unbelievable effect on that audience.
I haven't played. My last live show was back. It was 4 years ago, and on a regional festival that we have here in Brazil called Garage Sounds, and as we did, in my town, Recife, all the old bands that we had back home here, we split up. But we got together that year and made the Recife Hardcore Club. And then we play one guy from each band, and we played a 15-song set, 3 songs from each band of the guys. That was the last time I played live, but it was amazing. And I work with entertainment. I work with live shows, and before that show, my last show was back in 2010, so it was long ago. But after that show, every single show I did after as a producer, I was like, fuck, man, I wish I was walk on the stage. I wish I was walking on the stage, and I can't wait to live show come back, because one is where I get my paycheck from, and second is now I have a band with an album that I really want to play anywhere and everywhere, because I work with international events, so I often traveling, and I hope that as soon as I get those 3 months project, I can stay and get some guys around. That's why it's the Gummy Hunters, because I can get some gummies somewhere around. Like in Canada, my last official band was from Canada. We used to be called Lost Innocence. Now they call Crash of the Gates, something like that. And we have a WhatsApp group, and I say, hey, if I get a show in Toronto, could you guys play with me? And they're like, yeah, of course we can play with you. You know, things like that. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward for live shows, because I'm sure we're going to be playing as much as we can.
Well, absolutely. And
yeah.
I think there'll be a big resurgence in the live scene, because we've all been without it for so long, and we're all so eager for anything of any genre. I know the second that we hear about it, but I'm going to be going to a show, and I really don't care what it is, as long as we can do it safely. You know, like I am down for any live music right now. I am hungry for it. So
yeah,
so you got the name, and I was gonna ask is so you're always hunting for gummies? Is that how the name came to be?
No, the Gummy Hunters came from the gummy is the edibles, right? That was me and my friend, this guy here.
Oh, the edibles.
Snipes. Yeah, the edibles, the gummy bears.
Yes, I gotcha. I live in a medical state where there are gummies, and they'll get you. They will get you. Oh,
yeah, right.
That's a great.
That's awesome. And then I was talking to him, because he also released an album, and we both started at the same time. And he's one of the guys that also play with me at the Recife Hardcore Club, that project, that show. And then I was like, I wanted the name to be Stereo Out Music, but there was already a band called Stereo Out, and I didn't want to, just add the music to it, and due to the fact that I work internationally, and if I could change the band without change the essence of, like, how to explain that? It's like Social Distortion is a band that, it's Mike Ness, the Social Distortion guy, and you can, Danny's passed away, that's why he changed guitar players, but the bass player and the drummer was always changing, and nobody really cared, because it was, but there are other bands that, like the Ataris, that it seems like it matters, and I didn't want that to happen to us. That's why I came to the conclusion that I wanted to put the name Dan, even though I don't like to use it. I don't use it on Instagram, but I put it Dan and the Gummy Hunters, because if I change the band behind me, it used to be the same band, because,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And then as I can travel for work, I could get, like in Canada, I could get those guys from Lost Innocence. Or in Europe, I could get some friends of mine that they would do that for me. And it would be, logistically talking, it would be so much easier to go to places and play more shows. So that's why I came to that. And the name itself was just me and my friend drinking and, talking, and a funny name. And I said Gummy something, and then I said the word Hunter. I don't know. I don't remember how it happened. But then I was like, oh, Gummy Hunters is fun. And then like, yeah, Dan, the Gummy Hunters. And then he made the art, I think looks like the, I forgot the name. But there's a cartoon, the American cartoon with the bear and the little bear. But I forgot the name. But yeah, I really like the way the art. I don't know.
I was gonna say I love the album art so much, because it's like how to say it. It's like punk rock on LSD. Is the only way to describe it. It is so surreal and so psychedelic. Now, I'll bring it up on the screen here, but as you can see, you've got these gummy bears that are being abducted by UFOs.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's like tie-dye and psychedelic, and it's a type of name, but you don't forget. Now, what are you and the Gummy Hunters working on currently right now?
We just played this Chili festival, this online festival, a couple days ago, and we're gonna launch another music video for the song "Us." Is the fifth song on the record. It's and that's it. There's not much we can do. We want to do another live, like a full set live, but we don't know when because there are still restrictions where we are from, according to live music. Even though it's not, there's no public, you cannot go certain amount of decibels or level. So we don't want to do another studio live session. We want to do a proper live session on a stage, even though it's like empty, which wouldn't be different from a live show. A live show, there's 5 people, 10 people.
Yeah, we've all played to shows with just the other bands before. You know?
Yeah.
We've been there before.
yeah. So yeah, but I would like to do that, but I don't know when, because due to the COVID-19, things are changing all the time. One day you can't do it, but once you get prepared, things change, and the next day you can't do it anymore. So we are waiting. Maybe I don't know, April, we might have this record. It won't be a live, but it will be a live recorded set, full set. Yeah,
I'm really excited because we're actually gonna share that set from the remote festival you did for in Chile with all the mixtapers here tonight. So we get a little taste of what it would be like to see you and the Gummy Hunters live.
Cool, man. Awesome. I hope people like it.
I think they're gonna love it personally. I know my audience here, and I know what they like, and I think they're gonna enjoy going gummy hunting with you.
Wow, man.
But one thing I'm curious before we part ways, and I'm always curious about this, is you were talking about some of the punk rock bands in your area and stuff like that. What was the music scene like there for punk rock and hardcore in Recife?
All right. Back in the early 80s, when I was still sperm, what in the early, I'm from 84, right? But in the early 80s, the punk rock in Brazil through São Paulo and Rio, which was the 2 main cities, and then in Brasilia, which was the capital. In Brasilia, the punk got brought by the sons of the diplomats that used to live in Europe, especially in the UK. And these guys, it's funny because these guys, they came back to Brazil, son of diplomats, people that's supposed to, back then they're supposed to be doctors or lawyers or diplomats, but these guys, they become punks, and they were the first ones with making bands that I really like it. They became mainstream, but they didn't lose their sense at the time of the punk. They weren't punk as Sex Pistols. They were like more the Clash kind of thing. More about the sound. Sorry?
So talking my language right there.
Yeah, more about the sound. If
given a choice between the Sex Pistols or the Clash, I'd definitely take the Clash.
Yeah, same here. and and they did that in Brasilia. The workers, the black people, the poor people, not just black, but the workers, the industry workers, they did in São Paulo. So it was white rich people doing punk in Brasilia and black poor people doing punk in São Paulo. That's kind of how it started in Brazil. But up here, when I started to skate in '97, I the bands, they were all punk 77, and it kept that way until 99, I think. That when I discovered NoFX, Melancholy, Blink-182, all those bands Face to Face, and I stopped playing. I used to play in a band called Hydrophobia. And I quit that band, and then I started to play more skate punk. And the scene from 2002 in Brazil to 2000, that was when the pop punk exploded. It did explode here too, but it exploded in 2005, and there was a few popular bands here that they did play a lot. We had an industry, it was a big thing. But when it started becoming popular, I was dad. I had to quit music. That's when I moved to Canada in 2007. I played in Canada. I caught the end of the wave there. But when I came back to Brazil, I wasn't playing anymore. And that punk scene kind of, it didn't die. The scene, it leaves, but with way less people. Like 9% of the people are gone. Literally like 9% are gone in my town. In São Paulo, you can take 70% of the scene is gone, 30% is still there, another 10 that's new people. But São Paulo is a big, huge metropolis like New York. So there is things happening there, but shows, concerts that used to be for like 10,000 people, now it's like 2,000, 1,800. And back here, and where I'm from, we used to put like 3,000 on a good show. And now we put, the last show I went was a São Paulo band playing. It's supposed to be good. The band's good, but it's supposed to be a good show. I think it was like 80 people there. It's supposed to be 800. So,
So obviously, so definitely, there's been, I think there's always waves. And I think personally, like we here in the States, we've seen a big resurgence in the punk rock scene of all varieties. And same with hardcore and metal. And I personally think that when there's more social strife, there's more social conflict happening. There's an influx because people are angry and they got something to say and they're trying to, the next wave in a movement. And I think it's generational. It really is. And I think that we're seeing that. I'm seeing in tons of people that I've had on the show in different bands. There's a new youthful punk ethos that's coming through in so many, not just in punk rock music, but in the mindset as well. So I personally think that we're going to see, a big resurgence, especially when things start to open up. And I would imagine that, that's what I'm hoping for Brazil as well.
Yeah, well, down south, like this guy here, me, another guy from Natal, but down south, there was a lot of new bands coming, or old bands coming back together during this pandemic, that's for sure. But we don't, up north where I'm from, we don't have this rock scene history. We do have our own Brazilian type of music. It's called Mangue beat. It's something that it was developed here and went all over the world. With a guy called Chico Science in Nação Zumbi. It's rock with African drumming, and it's something unique. But rock music wasn't really popular here. Like you guys in the US, the ghetto music's the hip hop, right? Rap, hip hop. And here it's something like Africa funk music, but it's not funk as funky. It's funk as some kind of rap, but it's it is from the hills, the favelas, the slums, right? And it was developed there. It was born there, but it kind of get more accepted by the society than rock music. You know what I mean? For some reason, I don't know why, but rock, country, and jazz, blues, it's something that is not
as popular.
Yeah.
as
You know?
it would be in other parts of the world. I'm always curious about that, you know, because this is the type of thing that you just can't find online when you want to learn about, you know, another culture's music scene and stuff like that. It's somebody that's lived it like yourself, and especially, you know, you're only a couple of years older than me. I'm 36. And it's the type of thing that you kind of have to live that history, you know, and and absolutely with punk rock, it's something that you live twice as fast and twice as hard. That's for damn sure. It doesn't matter where you are. And it's definitely its own life lesson in its own. But I'm always curious, you know, about, you know, the origins of different music scenes and stuff like that, especially in different cultures from all around the world. And this has been awesome. I'm really excited to be able to share your music with everybody tonight in the performance from the festival that you did in Chile just a few days ago. Before we part ways, where can we find you online to listen to?
Any social media, social platform, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube. You can watch the music videos there and the performance as well. So yeah, Instagram is the Gummy Hunters without the Dan.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me. It was very nice to share with you.
This was awesome. Definitely don't be a stranger. You're part of our MixTape family now. So the second you guys put anything else that's new, send it our way, because we're gonna be gummy hunting for the rest of our lives here.
For sure, man. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye bye.